Edit audio.
All right. I eat like a fourth grader. I said it. I never met a chicken nugget that I didn't like, or fries, or mac and cheese, or ice cream, or. I think anything with a reservation is above my pay grade. I think that you all understand what I'm saying. But now I have celiac disease, and so I have to be more careful about the way I eat. And I also have a bit of a food disorder in the way that I eat. And somewhere in the last 2 years of menopause, I picked up an apron belly. Now, if you don't know what that is, please don't look it up, because I think it'll be much better that way for both of us. Now, all that said, I do want to eat better. I want to eat healthier. I want to eat like food is fuel, not the thing that brings me comfort and joy in this godforsaken world. And I have been making some changes, but I'm 55. Is it even possible to change? I mean, can you make yourself eat things that you don't like, that you know are good for you? Or am I thinking about all of this wrong? Hello, everyone. I'm Robin Hopkins, and this is Well Adjusting, where I talk to people about life stuff, but not in an NPR way. It's more like we're at the bar, having cocktails, getting into your business sort of way.
It's giving drunk NPR.
Oh, and producer Steph is here too.
Hello.
Today we chat, well, eating for health and wellness. Blah. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited for our guest. It's Dave from the Happy Pear. Now, the Happy Pear consists of identical twin brothers, Steve and Dave, who had a dream of helping people to eat more veg. And I like how they say veg because I think it makes it sound cooler. Now, they have a veg shop, a cafe, a bakery, online courses, a recipe club, cookbooks, a 4-acre regenerative organic farm, and I don't even know what that is, and a coffee roastery. And they also have this mission to help you get healthier and be happier. Y'all know that producer Steph and I have been on this journey to get well in small, manageable ways. The big question here is, can Dave from the Happy Pear break through and help us be healthier and happier? Take a listen to see. Oh, but hey, don't forget, if you've got a problem that you want to break down with me and producer Steph, all you got to do is email hello@editaud.io. Okay, here's Dave. All right, Dave, thanks for coming today. So first of all, tell everybody about yourself, and then we're going to talk about what we're here for today.
Tell everyone about myself. Well, I'm sitting here in my kitchen. I'm wearing a blue jumper. My name is David Kevin Michael Flynn. I am an identical mirror twin. So that means I'm right-handed. My twin is left-handed. I'm right-footed. He's left-footed.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, we're mirror twins. We're closer to Siamese than to fraternal twins. You know, it's where the zygote splits further on down, you know, closer towards that. So, yeah.
Whoa.
And myself, my twin started the Happy Pear 20-something years ago. We started with a vegetable shop to change the world, to inspire people to eat more vegetables. 20 years on, we still have the same mission of helping people eat more veg. And now we've got farms and we've sold, I think, 25 million of our food products in Ireland, and we have courses, and yeah, and it's spawned in loads of different ways, and with the exact same mission of helping people eat better to become happier and healthier, because in our own experience, we found that food is just such a cornerstone of the human experience in terms of well-being, in terms of feeling good, and in terms of also our connection to the planet and to life at large.
So that begs the question of, are you ready for Steph and I, producer Steph and I? Because,
yes!
So we're in the middle of this thing that we're calling Steph and Robin Get Well. And we're trying to make small changes, and we're doing like 2-week increments of trying different things and reporting back on it. And we were like, oh my God, we can get the Happy Pear here and we're going to talk food, because now we have wildly different, I'm going to use the word problems, but it's probably not the right word. But like, I eat like a fourth grader. I'm horrendous. I like, if left in doubt, I'm just going to eat a block of cheese and 4 Snickers bars. And Steph is a much better eater, but has all kinds of stomach issues. But we want to start by talking about, like, you're coming in with this like mission. I'm going to make food healthy, wealthy, and make everybody better and all this. Great. But like, how? I mean, I know that's a horrible question to start with, but just how?
I'm going to bring it up and then I'm going to bring it down. Okay, so I'm 45 years old, and I've seen in my lifetime obesity rates. This is in Ireland and the UK. They've gone from 6% to 30%, so 6-fold increase in 45 years. Type 2 diabetes have gone from 2% to 8%. And I can imagine in North America, it's bigger again.
I can't even imagine.
And it's not because we've less willpower. It's not because we've less education. It's not because we've less motivation. It's because our food system has changed fundamentally. Like if you can remember when we like certainly like as I said, I'm 45, so when we used to go trick or treating in Ireland at Halloween, we'd go around and we'd get apples and we'd get mandarin oranges, we get monkey nuts, which were shelled peanuts. And we might get like a handful of sweets, like that'd be it. And we'd like think we'd won the lotto, like we get 5 little sweets. Say, for example, I went out last Halloween with my middle kid. We went out for an hour and she got 4 kilos, which is about 8 pounds of chocolate bars, which was
Holy
410 small little bars of chocolate in 1 hour. And it's only an anecdotal story, but just to say how prevalent calories are nowadays, like, and how
Yeah.
we are, as human beings, we are hardwired to crave fat and sugar because evolutionary, they've got more calories, so we're going to last for longer. So it makes sense from an evolutionary point of view to be hardwired this way. But our food system, not that it's malicious, but just it's, food companies make more money by selling stuff that, we're hardwired to crave.
I think you're a nice person by saying it's not malicious because it is. Because I just was reading that with the GLPs that the junk food companies are livid that people aren't craving the junk food as much because everyone's on a GLP-1 and they're like trying to figure out ways around it, which I was like, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, except I'd say that they're not like, I'm sure they all have consciences, all the people that work in those companies, and they don't want to do the wrong thing. It's just that all the incentives at the moment are to, within capitalism, companies exist to make money, particularly public limited companies. So it's not that, I think the people at the top are not malicious at all. I think it's just the system is.
You're a
is
nice
bit corrupt.
person.
You're so nice.
We're like, yes, they are.
Yeah. So my setup is that it's like if anyone listening is unhealthy or feel like they could be healthy or is overweight and in a state of ill health, it's probably not their fault. Like it's probably not, because the system it's really difficult nowadays because, the way you go to get your GLP-1 medication, you go to the pharmacy or the chemist, you nowadays you've got to walk by chocolate bars and fucking energy drinks and protein bars to get your medicine. Like when I was growing up, a chemist or a pharmacy was to get your medicine and that was it. So it's just to say the prevalence of calories is everywhere and it's difficult.
Okay, I 100% agree with you because it's like we both live in New York City. There's a grocery store that's like 5 blocks down. The vegetables they're fine, but like they're going to last your fridge like 2 days. They're already starting off like God knows how long they took to get here and what bad shape they're in. I don't even have outdoor space. Like I'm not putting a garden in, and I'm also like so picky. So I'm just trying to think about like, how do you talk to people about getting access to the stuff, like people in food deserts? Like, how do you introduce more?
Yeah, well, like if you look at the longest living populations on the planet, and a really interesting piece of research with National Geographic, and they found these 5 areas, quite agrarian, quite rural, quite high altitude places. And they found out so say you guys live in New York City, the average kind of Western diet is typically about 55 to 60% ultra processed foods. So, what UPFs are. And then there's probably about 35% is animal-based food. So your meats, your fish, your dairy, your cheese. And then about 5 to 10% is your whole foods. So whole food being fruit, vegetable, bean, legume, whole grain, nut and seed. Whereas if you look at these longest living populations, 95% plus of what they eat are whole plant food. So it's almost inverted nowadays, the Western diet versus these other ones. So if you guys live in New York City, like it's hard. It's really hard. Like, cause I'm helping a friend who lives in New York City. I have a call with him every week to try to move his dial. And he says like he eats out, 5 or 6 times a week, and he's at events a number of times a week. And it's like, and he says it's hard. The setup is hard. My own thinking is we're going against the tide now because our biology has us craving fat and sugar. And then everywhere we go, modern life is so busy and demanding that, like, particularly if you live in a city, the desire for caffeine and sugar, it's at every street corner. It's at every street corner you go. And our nervous systems are so jacked up that we want it. We want something to stimulate, keep us going. Come on, be productive, be productive. I'm being very pessimistic here, but I'm also being a bit just acknowledging that it is difficult. That's the first and foremost.
Yeah. I just want to say, just coming from Canada, and I've talked to Robin about this a million times, but the biggest difference in this city versus that city was the quality of fresh whole foods. I mean, this is awful to say because I literally did not have an Amazon account before moving to the US, but now that I've moved here, the best quality fruits and vegetables I can get are from Whole Foods, which is owned by Amazon. Every other independent grocery store around me, which I have tried actually all of them, the quality of the food and the likelihood it stays fresh is not there. And also it's more expensive, which is wild. Like, talk about things that are not our issues to solve. Like, there's no way around that. You have to go to like, and then I think, there's only like, I don't know, 5 Whole Foods in the city. So most people don't really have access to that kind of.
I mean, there's things like CSAs and fresh markets. You just have to be really intentional to find them.
Yeah. So I'd say it's gone baby steps. Like I'd say, like what's sustainable is joy and happiness and those type of things. So I'd say the first thing is like, like for you, Steph, who sounds like you've got gut issues or that type of things, it sounds like your nervous system, you probably have an inflammation somewhere in your digestive system.
There's many inflammations in this nervous system.
Yeah. And it's the same in like our culture nowadays is inflamed. Like we've got an inflammatory culture. So it's not surprised that a huge amount of us have inflammation in various different ways. So I think being able to relax is the first thing. Because like we run a course with a senior consultant gastroenterologist. That's a gut doctor. He'll say that 70% of IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, is down to stress. It's not even down to the food you're eating. It's down to first relaxing your nervous system, breathing properly, and being able to slow down. And that would always he'd say is one of the first places to start in terms of gut and digestive issues.
How's slowing down and relaxing going for you, Steph?
Well,
But you're right, though. You're absolutely right. My daughter has issues like that, and it's like I know it's connected to stress for her. Most definitely.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because to me, like, I'm like, well, just give me the diet fix because that's way easier for me, which I'm sure most people have the opposite problem.
No, I think it's learning to breathe properly, because how we breathe is how we feel. And most of us, because our lives are so busy in emergency mode so much of the time, that we're breathing shallow and we're not breathing deep and long and slow and triggering our parasympathetic rest and restore nervous system. So I think it's learning to breathe again and being much more conscious about that, because, life goes by in a flash.
Okay, so our next episode with you is going to be how the hell do you own a company and also know how to breathe properly?
Well,
Well, it's what I think is really interesting about what you're saying is like we always talk about how like, everyone's always like calories in, calories out. And it's just like, well, like if you're overweight, it's just never that simple. It almost never that simple. It's usually some other underlying issue. And it's like, I love that you're saying like that the system is set up to like put you in a tough space. So I do want to talk a little bit about that, because one of the things that's coming up in our Steph and Robin Get Well is what I'm calling the I don't wannas. Like, when you get in that space where you're just like, there's a thing you're supposed to do that's good for you. And it's like, let's say it's food and you're in a choice. Like, how do you tell people, knowing that the system is rigged, to make the choice between a Snickers bar and, I don't know, asparagus? Because it's like your mission is to have people eat more veg. And it's like, okay, how? That's all I'm going to say this whole episode.
Okay. Well, I'd say for both of you who live in New York City and probably have busy, demanding lives, like it has to be intentional, because if you just outsource it without being intentional, as I said, like you're outsourcing your responsibility to the food system and to the government, which they've got different incentives. They've just got different incentives. So you've got to take personal responsibility for your food choices, because if you just outsource them to what's cheap in the supermarket, you're going to end up being sick in some form or the other. I think it starts with educating yourself, and then slowly, it has to be really sustainable and it has to taste good, because if it doesn't taste good, you're not going to stick with it. And maybe it's starting with breakfasts and just going, okay, I'm still going to eat my Snickers bars, but I'm going to start with breakfast, and I'm going to own breakfast for 2 weeks. And I'm just starting with breakfast, and I'm going to have a decent breakfast, and I'm going to sit, I'm going to make time, and I'm going to be relaxed, I'm going to enjoy my breakfast, and it's going to be a ritual. And that's my breakfast. And that's all I'm starting with. I'm doing that for 2 weeks. And then when that becomes a habit, maybe then it's going, right, now I'm going to tackle my snacks. I've been eating them Snickers bars. I'm going to find something else. There's a lot of healthier choices than Snickers bars, and you'll know more what you're drawn towards. But there is that idea that they call it environmental design. I talked about these longest living populations on the planet. They're not the longest living populations because they're genetically any better than you or me. Like, they're not genetically more advanced. It's just that their environment forces them where the healthy choice is the easy choice. Like, they live in really kind of rural areas. They grow their own vegetables. They have to cycle everywhere because they don't have cars. They don't have dishwashers. They don't have washing machines. Life is harder. They've just got to move more and do more stuff and eat more vegetables and more whole grains. So and that's why they live longer. So like obviously you guys live in New York City. Your life is very different to how they live. What you buy is what you're going to eat. If you have Snickers bars in your house, what are you going to eat when you're stressed and tired? Snickers bars. Yes. If you have, whatever, Captain Crunch or some other cereal in your house and you don't want to eat it for breakfast and you're trying to white knuckle it, it's not going to last. So you've got to environmental design is this concept that you've just got to design your life for knowing that you're going to get stressed, knowing that you're going to get overwhelmed every day. And how can you store the foods that you don't want to eat in the supermarket? So you've got to actually leave the house to go get them. It sounds such a simple thing, but most of our shopping habits and our eating habits tend to be so habitual. You've got to be very intentional to change them, very intentional. It has to start very small and being consistent with that.
Oh, I love that. And there's so many good things in what you said. Never did it occur to me because I think I always approach everything diet minded. And it's and you're and build in time to sit and make it a habit where you're relaxing and you're enjoying your meal that. I'm okay, how can I put it in a to-go cup, walk over to my desk, start working while I have this protein shake? That's just such a better way to think about it, which is, I guess, why you are the expert and we are not.
Well, I'm only just trying out ideas here and we'll see what sticks or what doesn't. But I do really believe what's sustainable is joy and good feeling and all those type of things and happiness. They're much more sustainable than a diet and willpower. And willpower will only get you so far. So that's why you've got to design it factor in from the outset that it's this has to be a habit. We're creating a habit. Health has to become a habit and not just something you do to fit in a certain dress and then you go back to eating 4 Snickers bars a day or whatever.
Finding time for healthy choices can be tough, especially when city life pushes you toward quick, sugary snacks, like Robin and Steph discussed. Mito Pure. Gummies from Timeline are a simple way to support your energy and strength, even on busy days. These gummies target aging at the cellular level and help renew your mitochondria, the power plants of your cells. Backed by over 15 years of research and multiple human clinical trials, Mito Pure is Timeline's patented form of urolithin A. 2 gummies give you 500 milligrams of Mito Pure in a clean, vegan, and non-GMO formula. If you want to stay strong and energized now and as you age, then you have to try Mito Pure gummies. Timeline offers 20% off just for listeners of this show. Head to timeline.com/Mito20 to get started. That's timeline.com/Mito20. Your cells will thank you.
You mentioned ultra processed foods and and you're talking about designing your kitchen and that kind of stuff. I recently saw a nutritionist just because I was I want to try to eat less processed foods because it's I'm aware of how much stuff I have that has chemicals and things in it. Do you feel processed, if you're talking about small steps, do you feel processed is a scale of a little bit of processed? Because the nutritionist lady was hey, frozen foods are processed technically. And then there's the ultra processed. So do you feel it's starting on a scale with stepping back off the processed food, or what's the best approach to trying to bring more whole foods in?
I think it's 100% a spectrum. So you hit the nail on the head there because there's, we've got a farm. So we turn a tomato, would you pick from our farm into a can of tomatoes, you've got to process them. But it's minimally processed, because that is still considered a whole food. Whereas, something that has got loads of sugar and oil and preservatives and it lasts for a year on the shelf, that's an ultra processed food. Most things have a certain amount of processing to get to you, rice or wheat or flour or any of these things. These have all been processed to a degree. So it is a spectrum. But my message and the Happy Pear message has always been about helping people eat more whole foods because ultimately we've evolved for millions of years eating foods that were natural. And it's only been over the last 150 years since the Industrial Revolution that our diets have changed fundamentally. So I think in terms of, as I said, it has to be intentional. I think it has to start in baby steps. You've got the idea of environmental design. And it's probably starting with most people have 3 or 4 dinners that they can whip up and that's their kind of go-to. And each week they rinse and repeat them. And it's probably starting with introducing one new dinner and kind of going, okay, for the next week, I'm going to introduce, that Happy Pear lad, he said, there's a really nice high protein spaghetti bolognese. I'm going to give that a lash. It says 20 minutes. It's got 10 ingredients. Sure, I'll give it a lash. And then you cook it the first week and it said 20 minutes, took me 35 minutes. But you cooked it. Jeez, it wasn't bad, not bad. Jeez, and the kids ate it. Jeez, brilliant. And we got enough for the next day. Brilliant. I'm going to make that again. And you make that again the next week. And then you make it again the next week. And it's like, geez, that's not bad. And it becomes sort of your weekly ritual. And you go, geez, okay, that first one worked well. I'm going to try another one of theirs. Geez, that was good. Okay, let's try chickpea curry. And we tried the chickpea. Geez, it says 5 minutes. It took me 10 minutes. And, you know, you literally go through that and you have to be slowly, incrementally changing it. But it's not going to happen by itself. You have to be intentional and you have to prioritize it, because what most people do is they wait. Like, I see it time and time again. Most people wait till they're sick to actually change. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah,
They wait until their engine's burnt out and then they go, I wish someone had told me. Well, I'm telling you now that the amount of people I meet that spend so much of their time chasing wealth, and then they realize at the expense of their health, and then they kind of start realizing, oh my God, my health was just really, like, life is so much more difficult to enjoy without my health. So food is like, our body is literally made up of the foods we eat. We can become the product of foods that are coming from nature, like literally coming from nature and connecting with nature and feeling connected. Or we can eat foods that come from, you know, ultra processed foods, which are going to have a different energy and a different process, and our bodies will become something different. So, like, food is literally the most intimate way that we connect with nature. And we can support one type of food system, or we can just support another. And that's why me and Steve will consistently say that food is the keystone solution in terms of human health and in terms of planetary health. And there's just so much opportunity within it for our own personal health and for planetary health and environmental health and species health and, you know, so many different things.
I always think about it. Both my wife and I, we don't like to cook. We're not good at it. I mean, we're fine, but like, we're not winning any awards. And I always think of it like, okay, like, well, things will get bad and I'll be like, we're going to do better. We're going to do better. We're fixing this. We're going to become a member of the Park Slope Food Co-op. We've got this. It's happening. And it's like, and then we fall off within 2 weeks because we just can't sustain it. So the idea of just tackling one meal and being like, all right, let's approach our breakfast, that everything in the house that's for breakfast is decent and as close to Whole Foods as possible, or whatever that change would be. And then going, all right, maybe now we'll start working on lunch. You know, it's like that idea of that is much more approachable, of like a lifestyle change, which seems obvious, but it did not ever occur to me. It was just like, I got to fix it.
Yeah. And you're probably better kind of mapping out a 6-month plan. And that's the hard bit. It's kind of like putting in a reminder in your calendar in 2 weeks going, are you still eating? How's the healthy breakfast going? And go, time to introduce a dinner. And like, it does take intentionality, because it won't change. Like, most of our lives, we're just going quick, go, one thing after another. And particularly if you've got kids, like, so to take out a half an hour and actually plan and go, okay, so the cooking thing is really interesting, because every time you eat out, you get 300 calories extra per meal. And those calories are not coming from the broccolis and the carrots and the onions. They're coming from the sugars and the fats and the salts and all of these other things. So it's really like, in terms of health as well, like learning to cook. Lots of people do meditation, they do mindfulness, they do their sports, they do other ways to creatively express themselves. Like, cooking is one of the most, it's such a beautiful creative art that most of us see it as drudgery. I have to cook dinner and I have to knock out dinner. And sure, there's lots of days of the week you have to knock out a dinner. But cooking is one of the most beautiful ways that you get to nourish yourself. You get to nourish your family if you have one, and you get to connect and express yourselves. And if you make time for it and look at some books or look at some recipes and create enough space and turn it into a ritual, it is a glorious, beautiful way that you are nourishing you and your family.
If you come to my house, I can make space for you to do that for me.
I'll do it for you.
That?
I would love to do that for you. I'm like excited by that. And it's so interesting that you brought up a calendar, because I know that Robin I just called you Ryan.
I know.
I know that Robin just got a Skylight calendar, which one of the things on it is so that everyone in the household can view their meals and you can set up like your meal for breakfast, your snack, your lunch, your dinner, and set it out, and it like makes the grocery list for you. And so I'm like, maybe that, you know, Robin and Steph Get Well journey, maybe that's next month for us.
Yes.
We could do meals. I can give you 9 million recipes. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Robin hates it.
No, I love it. It's going to be great.
But the cooking bit, like, it's a bit like the breakfast. I'd start with something small and go, okay, I'm going to block out an hour. I'm going to get like the typical pain points for people with cooking is getting the shopping and getting the ingredients. Maybe ask, someone else in your house to get all the ingredients and maybe check that they've got it. But even the day before, checking you've got the ingredients to cook it and just making sure you've given yourself an hour or whatever it is. If it says half an hour, give yourself an hour. Take your time. Put on nice music. Literally try to create a ritual. Try to create an experience that this is my meditation. Put on a podcast, whatever it is, but put the energy into that. This feels like the process is nourishing it and start rechanging your own association to that word cooking because it can be such a beautiful, joyous thing. And particularly if you're cooking for your family, I cook for my family most nights here. And it's like, I love taking my time. I'll get the ingredients in the morning. I'll get it at 7 a.m. Very often I'll cook my dinner when I'm making breakfast. Like that's what I do because it's easier. I know I've got more energy in the morning. I have more emotional energy. Or sometimes I'll prep my veggies in the morning when I'm making porridge or doing that kind of stuff or whatever I'm doing. When you leave it till 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or when you come home, like most people's emotional energy is tired and they just want to eat the pizza. They just want their dinner served to them and they can't deal with other people's needs and wants. So I think trying to think it like using your skylight calendar, whatever it's called, and just being a bit more organized around it. Because it comes around every night, dinner, and who's cooking dinner and what's it going to be. And how can we be a bit more organized with it?
No, I love that. Because it's like I check my calendar every day for the next day of work, of what's coming, what I have to do, and set my day up. Like, I don't know why that couldn't become part of it where we say, okay, this is what's happening. And I love, love, love the idea of prepping in the morning. So it's like you're just kind of like putting it together. Like that's really helpful. That's helpful.
Yeah.
And also like making, like you said, like something like playing music or creating an environment where it's like me time. Because that, especially for people who work from home, because it's like I work out of my bedroom and then it's like could create that barrier of like, oh, the workday is over. And then I'm going into an unwind mode. So I like all of that. What about when you've got, let's say, teenagers in the house, I don't know, asking for a friend. Yeah. I'm just thinking about, okay, I'm going to approach breakfast. And my son has been eating either Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Honey Nut Cheerios every day for breakfast for probably 5 years. One of the two of them, it's like what he loves. It's like makes him happy. And I can't make intentionality for him. And putting things in the house doesn't magically transform for them. Do you have any suggestions in those types of situations?
I have teenagers in my house too, so I know exactly what it's like. I think it's hard, because teenagers they have their own money typically, and they have the same desires for fat and sugar that we have, but their brains aren't as developed as ours. So they typically eat more percentage of ultra processed foods than a grown up does. So they're craving more fat and sugar and sweet. And it's just like, it's hard because the teenagers is really, really hard. So in my household, like I make smoothies for breakfast. Smoothies tend to be easy, or I can get smoothies into them. They'll taste pretty good. I put in frozen fruit and I put in bananas and peanut butter and oat milk, and it's just really simple. And maybe I put in some seeds, and sometimes they drink them and sometimes they don't. It's not easy with teenagers, but it's starting again. It's doing your best, but you can control the meals they eat at home. Because when they're out in the street, they're going to eat loads of just junk, because it's so true. Readily available. So that's why at home, like I'm hard at home. Like this is what's for breakfast. This is what's for dinner. That's it. No. And like, obviously, like I have daughters, so they'll wrangle me. They can press my buttons and, oh, Dad, come on, Daddy, can we get this or whatever? And like, they'll play me. And I'm a sucker. Like I'll be played quite often, but they do have a good relationship to food. And that's the main thing. And they eat pretty good as far as teenagers go.
Amazing.
I have a follow-up on that because it's so interesting. So my partner is autistic, and so that comes with an extra food layer that they prefer beige foods. That's like an overgeneralization, but I call them beige foods because I have always been taught, like, I think Robin and I've always said this to you, like, how can you make your plate look more like a rainbow? Or like, what colors can you add into your plate or whatever?
I took that from you. I love that.
Yeah. And it's nice because then you're like, oh, you realize when your plate is all beige, you're like, oh shit, there actually isn't a vegetable on here. But anyways, so do you have any recommendations for that? Like slowly adding in, I guess what I've been trying to do is add in one vegetable or one like unknown food to try to like open the palate, but you have more experience working with tons and tons of people. Do you have any recommendations for just like, growing your relationship with food and making it more positive to trying new things?
Is texture a thing too? Yes. What about soups? Soups tend to be...
Yeah, they like a blended soup, but not like a lentil soup.
But you can put lentils and blend them too. So soup is an amazing way that, particularly with kids, they could go, oh, what's in the soup? It's just soup. What's in the soup? It's orange soup. Like, what do you think's in it? And it's like, it's literally taking that approach to kind of going, why is the soup green? Well, it's just the soup. Like, what's in it? It's just soup.
It's so funny. Yesterday, I recently got them into pesto pasta salad. And I've been sneaking kale and arugula and spinach into the pesto because you can't tell, because texturally and visually it looks and tastes basically the same. So I've just been like halving the basil with spinach or kale, and I feel like that's the soup of my household right now, is just like, what things can I sneak into this blended object? But that's true, I never thought about soup.
Yeah but even on the pesto pasta, we have a range of products, and we released a product there recently. It's an organic super greens pesto, and we make it with kale and spinach because we've realized that most people don't eat greens, and you can make it taste just as good.
Tastes exactly the same.
Just using steamed kale and spinach and blend that through your garlic and, all the other ingredients, your oils and your lemon and salt and whatever. So,
I mean, some of it is, even though it's not education, some of it is education, because it's like all the things you're saying wouldn't even occur to me. Like, I grew up in an upstate New York where we ate, like, the only vegetables we ate were potatoes, peas, and corn. And it was like beef and like if you had chicken, it was like fried chicken. It was like from KFC, but everything was just like, it was like meat and potatoes. Like, that's just how we grew up. And so I have like both Mary and I, and she grew up in Ohio, same. I have so little knowledge that like trying to build that, which is why I love that idea of the recipe of like one new one per week, and you make it a bunch of weeks until you kind of own it. Cause it's like, I wouldn't even think to do that. I'm like, okay. Like any of the things you guys are saying, which is amazing. It's like there's a lot to learn, which I think makes me feel less hopeless about it, that it can't be done.
Yeah, I think that's the amount of opportunity. Like, I think get excited about the opportunity for growth and evolution. Oh my God, how exciting. But it is true, genuinely. Like I think, there is, most people, like, food is just something which happens. It just happens automatically because it's outsourced to the food system. And I think there's so much opportunity for health and vitality and well-being and connection, because in a world nowadays where most of us are so disconnected, like, our food choices have such a central part to play with it. Like, we're a stories-based society, and most of us don't know the stories of who's grown our food or where it came from. We grow the food. So, like, we planted our pumpkins in May. We sowed them in probably April. I planted them out in June. It was after we harvested the onions and garlic. We planted the pumpkins, and we harvested in there last weekend. And I made pumpkin soup twice this week. That isn't pumpkin soup. That is like 6 months of love and dedication and watching these plants grow and going up there as a family and harvesting them with friends and whatever, and then storing all the pumpkins away. And I chopped up a Queensland blue pumpkin. I peeled it. I put an onion and garlic from the farm. I put in leek from the farm. And that wasn't soup. That was an expression of love and joy and beauty. And I will not waste one drop of that soup because I know what's gone in it. I know Chris and Alessia were up there in rainy days on the farm showing up. And it's such a different experience. Like, the connection, the love, the nourishment I feel eating that soup is very different than me just buying something in Whole Foods and making soup or buying soup,
Yeah, that seems like there's levels or layers to it, because it's like, so I can never have that experience because I don't have a farm, and I don't know what the fuck I was doing if I had a farm. I'd be like, well, this is a lot of land, but I can join a CSA or whatever and then make pumpkin soup for the first time. And that would be my version of that. But just like the whole way you're saying this, the approach to it of just like, it never occurred to me, and it's fantastic. I love it.
Oh, great. Most people's lives are set up, like, our priorities are set up for, whatever it is. We're busy. Life is busy. And what I'm kind of saying here is that there's a wonderful connected journey as you go on this journey of discovering food and how food can nourish you, and cooking and how food's produced and the connection that you can have to the land, to yourself, to your family, and all these various things. So I guess that's the opportunity I'm throwing out to people.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Okay, David, we're going to do a quick fire round. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What is your least favorite vegetable?
I don't really like daikon radish.
Oh.
There's a random one for you.
This is going to be like, and then Robin, have you heard of it? And I'll be like, no. Next.
Yeah.
On the flip side, what do you think is the most underrated vegetable that is like found?
Pumpkin. I just adore
Interesting.
pumpkin, and most people know pumpkin as just something that they carve or they put the pumpkin puree and things. But I just think it's so underrated. It's so easy to cultivate. It's such an amazing starch. It lasts all year, and the utilization is amazing. So maybe I'll go with pumpkin because it's at the moment I'm just loving it.
My dog agrees with you, so
Great.
that's good. What's your go-to recipe if you have 15 minutes or less?
I'd probably just put tofu in one half of the air fryer, chop up 200-gram block of tofu with 2 tablespoons of tamari, 2 tablespoons of nutrition yeast, mix it up, put it on one side of the air fryer. I might chop up sweet potato or pumpkin and put it on the other side, a bit of salt, a bit of oil, pop that on for 10 minutes, and then I might steam some kale if I have some, or some kind of green, or I'll serve it with hummus, and it'd probably take me 10 minutes.
Yum.
Easy.
I want that now. That's a good
Yeah,
breakfast.
it's really easy, yeah, it's really easy.
What's your favorite slow cooking recipe? You have like an hour and a half. You have like your favorite record playing. What's your thing that you're making?
Oh, something new probably, because I love the challenge of being forced to do something new. So I do love that. Or else I love cooking lentils. I love cooking like a whole lentil and making like a Spanish peasant stew. When my kids were young, I made up stories about that this is an old family recipe, Flynn Island stew. Our great ancestors used to make it in Clare Island. And this was like this lentil stew that I used to make, and I'd call it Flynn Island stew. And my kids would go, "Oh, not Flynn Island stew again." I'd go, "Listen, our family's been bred on this stew. It's very important that we eat it. This is our heritage."
Oh, God, that's so funny.
That's amazing. I love a hood ring.
What is the one thing that you always have in your fridge pre-made?
Yeah, so I'll always have tofu in the fridge. I'll always have sauerkraut and kimchi. And I'll normally have oat milk made. I have an oat milk maker, which is really good. I make it every morning with oats and almonds and water and a bit of salt. And it's really good quality. And it takes 1.5 minutes. Yeah.
Fave dessert. I know, now I'm hungry.
Fave dessert. Last night, my niece, she made crumble. She made a lovely crumble. It was like an apple and blackberry crumble and she served it with vanilla ice cream, and it was fucking yum.
Yum.
It's delicious.
What do you think is the most versatile grain?
Oats, I would go with oat flakes. You know, people will say wheat, but wheat, obviously, it depends on what you use more. But oats, we're like born and bred on porridge, so I love oat flakes for the win.
Awesome. This wasn't on the questions, but I know you have a line of products. What's your favorite? What's your one you're most excited about right now?
We released this organic supergreens pasta, and I'd say that one's one of them. We've an organic, we've got a range of 80 products in Ireland, and we've just launched 13 in the UK. And their pestos and dips are what we're best at. They're really, really good. So yeah, I even for lunch, I had hummus with our sun-dried tomato pesto on top of toast, and that was pretty easy with some pumpkin soup. My beloved pumpkin soups. I am the pumpkin king.
I wanted to ask you just what's your final takeaway for people, and then I want you to tell everybody where they can find you and all of your stuff.
Well, you can find us on the internet. It's quite easy nowadays. Just type in Happy Pear. Okay, there's such an opportunity in food. Most of our food choices are just so habitual and so routine and so unconscious. And there is such an opportunity for connection to yourself, connection to the landscape, connection to your family via our food. And the more we can choose foods that are whole foods, as in fruits, vegetables, beans and whole grains, nuts and seeds, even 50% of the calories of the longest living populations are beans and legumes. And most people have the expression, beans. The more you eat, the more you lower your risk of cardiovascular disease. Correct. Beans are amazing. So eat lots of beans, folks. Maybe I'll leave it at that. Start simple and make it sustainable. And it has to be fun. Joy has to be at the start of any change. Because if it's deprivation and misery, you ain't going to make it.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to try to fix me. And I mean, it does take it takes a village and everyone else who struggles with this, because I'm not alone. Like, I think especially in the U.S., there's a lot of us out here that just eat shitty. So I feel like you really gave us this was like a massive reframe. So I'm so thankful that you came in and shared all this with us. Whew. Well, that's a wrap for today, folks. And thank God, because now I am fucking starving. So I am going to go to the kitchen and I'm going to make a better choice. Before I do that, I want to say thank you to Dave for chatting with us today and helping us. Although, let's be honest, he once again just helped me because Steph hoodwinked me. But thank you, Dave, for sharing all of this wealth of information of yours with our listeners. And if you want more info about The Happy Pear, you can follow them on Instagram at The Happy Pear, and that's PEAR, or you can go to thehappypear.ie. For more Robin, and you may need that, you probably don't need it, but if you do, you can follow me at Real Rob Hops on all the platforms, all the socials, as the kids today say. Well Adjusting is an Edit Audio original series. It's exec produced by Steph Colburn and Robin Hopkins. Our producer is Maria Passingham, and our production manager is Kathleen Specker. This episode was edited by Megan Hayward. Thank you to the entire Edit Audio team and to you for listening. Oh, hey, before you take out those AirPods, this show is just for entertainment. If you are in need of help, please, please, please reach out to a professional. Go ahead and get that help. You deserve it.